Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn the Vedic period. Vedic period means you are nothing but the coming of Aryans to India. About this origin of the Aryans, we have lot of disputes even today. But according to Max Muller, the German scholar, believed that Aryans came to India from Central Asia. He gave two reasons in support of the theory. The first wave of migrants from the Central Asia had started around 1500 BC. The Aryans bore strong resemblance to bands of warlike people of Central Asia. The Central Asian theory holds the origin of Romans, Indians, Greeks, and Persians from the same stock. Depending on that, the Vedic period was happened between 1500 BC to 500 BC. Based on the period, this was further divided into early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Early Vedic period from 1500 BC to 1000 BC and later Vedic period from 1000 BC to 500 BC. So let us know their settlements and about the place. The early Vedic Aryans, you say that the early Vedic period people settled the regions around river Indus and its tributaries. Here the tributaries means 7 tributaries of river Indus, Jhelum, Sutlej, Beas, Ravi. All this together, they named it as Sapta Sindhu region, or you say the land of 7 rivers. And they named their settlement as Brahmavarta, or you say the land of gods. In the same way, later Vedic Aryans, they moved towards Ganga Yamuna Doab, you say that Gangetic Valley. They settled there and they named their settlement as land of Aryans. That means here Aryavarta in Sanskrit. So this period, the Vedic period, is also known as the Vedic culture. Why is it known as Vedic culture? Because the culture is mainly based on the Vedic texts. Now let us know what is meant by the Vedic literature. The Vedic literature means here the Vedas together with the Brahmanas, Upanishads, Puranas and the epics collectively form this Vedic literature. Then we move to that, the meaning of the term Veda. What is meant by Veda? What is the origin of the word Veda? The Veda is derived from the root word, that means the Sanskrit word Vid, which means to know. That's why that word Veda means the knowledge, or you say the wisdom. Then why do we call this the Vedas, the store of knowledge? What is the reason for calling the Vedas store of knowledge? Because they provide us the social, economic, political, religious aspects of the life of the people during that period, especially the Aryans, early Aryans and the later Aryans. And this Vedic literature is divided into 2 parts. That is nothing but Shruti and Smriti. So what is meant by this Shruti? Shruti means here the literature revealed to the sages by the god, and they passed on that knowledge orally from one generation to another generation. In that way Smriti, that was composed by the sages. Now let us move to the main sources of this Vedic period. That means here the historical sources. Under the historical sources, you know that we have the literary sources and the archaeological sources. So what were the literary sources and what were the archaeological sources? Let us know. Under the literary sources, you could see that the 4 Vedas. So which were those 4 Vedas? Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. And the second one is here the epics. You know that we have 2 great epics of India, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then under the archaeological sources, you could see that artifacts and the pottery Artifacts means here nothing but the iron tools and implements and the pottery. Under the pottery there are two types, graveware and the painted graveware. Let us now learn the details of these sources. First of all, let us start with the literary sources. Let us study the literary sources in detail. First, the Vedas. First Veda, Rig Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest religious text in the world and is therefore known as the first testament of mankind. It is divided into 10 mandalas and it is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. The hymns are dedicated by the sages to gods. It also contains the famous Gayatri mantra. Next, we move to that Samaveda. Samaveda, the term Sama means sweet song or the melody, and it is also known as the Book of Chants. It contains 1875 hymns, and all these hymns were sung at the time of sacrifice by the priests. Next, we move to the Yajurveda. Yajurveda is known as the book of sacrificial prayers, and the hymns recited at the time of performance of yagnas, or you say that when they perform the yagnas, along with that they follow the rituals. That is mentioned in Yajurveda, and this Yajurveda contains 2086 hymns. Next, we move to the fourth Veda, Atharva Veda or Atharvana Veda. It deals with magic and charms. It deals with the magic and charms. And here, mainly this Veda deals with the medicines for the treatment of various diseases also. Next, we move to the epics. The two important epics of India, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana was written by sage Valmiki and Mahabharata was written by sage Veda Vyasa. Under Ramayana we learn about, that means we know the story of Rama, Lakshmana, Sita and Hanuman. Under Mahabharata, Krishna, Pandavas and the Duryodhana. And a part of, the most important part of this Mahabharata is that Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita forms a part of Mahabharata, one of the most popular religious texts considered sacred by many people in India. So what is the significance of this epics, or what is the importance of learning these epics? Epics supply us the sufficient information about the social, religious, economic and political life of the later Aryans. All these were written during the time of later Vedic period. Now we will study about the archaeological sources. What are the archaeological sources? The first thing is iron artifacts. So the discovery of iron around the 1000 BC gave rise to many changes in the later Vedic life. First thing is here the change in the agriculture. Discovery of the iron implements like axes helped them to clear the forest and cultivate the land. So agriculture became the main occupation of later Aryans. Next, because of these iron implements, you could see that the implements like saw, nails, hammer, chisel, all these made some occupations. That means here the new occupations like carpentry, tannery, tool making, weaving. Like that, some of the new occupations entered into the society. In the same way, there were changes in the defense also. So what are those changes here? Even in the defense, iron was extensively used in making weapons of war like swords, shields, armors and spears, so that they could, that iron is harder than the bronze. They could make the stronger and the powerful weapons. Then we move to the another archaeological source, that is pottery. Pottery means nothing but the earthenware. We learned about pottery even under the Harappan civilization. Now this pottery, here there are two types, grey ware and the painted grey ware. Probably the grey ware belonged to the early Vedic age, that means early Vedic Aryans, and it did not have much of the decorations like later Vedic pots. So the later Vedic pots were known as the painted grey ware, and this painted grey wares had some specific the features also. What are those? The painted grey ware is a very fine, smooth and even colored pottery, and it was made out of well worked high quality clay with the geometrical patterns painted on it in black. And the pottery includes open mouth bowls and also the dishes. Now children, we go for the comparative study. Comparative studies means similarities as well as the differences between early Vedic period and later Vedic period. First of all, we start with the society. Under the society, first thing is here about the family. So the family life under the early Vedic period and the family life under the later Vedic period, it looks similar. Family life is similar in both the period. You could see that family life, the joint family system was prevailed, and the family structure. What was the structure of the family? Patriarchal. That means here the male dominated family. The oldest male member was known as Grihapati. The same thing you could see even in the later Vedic period. The same joint family system prevailed. Patriarchal structure also continued, but it became complex, and more of importance to the boys were given in the later Vedic than the early Vedic. Early Vedic both were treated equally, but now the boys became prominent in the family under the later Vedic period, and the family head continued to be known as Grihapati. Next we move to the status of women. So what was the status of women under the early Vedic and also the later Vedic? You could see that lot of difference. Under the early Vedic period, the women were given high esteem, that means high respect in the society, and they had taken active participation in the holy functions, that means the religious functions as well as outside assemblies, attending the assemblies, and also enjoyed right to property, and the daughters were given freedom even to choose their husbands, and they were equally given the education also. But under the later Vedic period, you could see that they were degraded, and their participation in the religious function continued, but it was not in the publicly, and they were ceased to participate in the assemblies, that means the open discussions or anything like that. And now in the later Vedic, they did not have any right to enjoy their property. Next, the freedom of choosing their husbands were also curtailed, and education was also denied. Okay children, next we move to the religious life. Under the early Vedic period, the religion was very simple. They used to worship the nature gods like Agni, Varuna, Vayu, then Surya, like that, and no temples. That means absolutely there were no temples, no idol worship, and they followed the simple rituals. That means all together the group prayers were conducted. But in the later Vedic age, you could see that the religion became complex, and there you could see the new number of gods and the goddesses, like now the Trimurtis. That means the worship of Trimurtis. That means here Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, along with that many gods and the goddesses. Along with that, the construction of the temple, idol worship, and also the rituals. Rituals became more complicated. That means the simple has turned into the complicated. Yagnas became compulsory, but these yagnas were not compulsory under the early Vedic period. Then we move to the caste system. Absolutely there was no caste system under the early Vedic period. They were not even knowing about what is the caste. The society was divided into 4 groups based on occupation. That you could see that. That means here Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. These 4 Varnas were mainly based on the occupation, and they could transfer. That means change from one Varna to another Varna. It was allowed in the society. Got it, children? But in the same way, later Vedic period, everything changed. Casteism became rigid and complex, and now the caste based on the birth. And even the change of one Varna to another Varna was not allowed. And the occupations became hereditary. Okay, children, this is about the comparison of society. Then we will move next to the another one, that is economy. Now we will study the economy of early Vedic as well as the later Vedic period. Under the economy, first we learn about the occupations. What was the main occupation under the early Vedic period? The main occupation was domestication of animals and agriculture was secondary. Then under the later Vedic period, agriculture became chief occupation. You know that. That is because of the discovery of iron, they could cultivate the more land, and domestication of animal became the secondary. That means continued as a secondary occupation. Then along with that, the other occupations were also there. What were those? Dyeing, embroidery, carpentry, weaving, pottery, crafts in gold. That were the important occupation under the early Vedic period. In the same way, many new occupations that started in the later Vedic period. What were those? Like physicians, musicians, craftsmanship, professionals. Many professionals came into practice. Then what was the main source of income? Under the early Vedic period, cattle. That means the cow. Cow was the main source of income. Later Vedic period, you know that agriculture became the chief occupation. So the land became the important source of income. Then what about the trade? Under the later Vedic period, the trade has changed a lot. But under the early Vedic period, you know that trade was prevailed, that was confined to the limited area and the barter system was followed. But under the later Vedic period, the trade became important. They made the trade guilds. That means, you know, the professionals. They had their own group and started making the trade more important. And along with that, the exchange of goods were done during the period of early Vedic period. But during the later Vedic period, at the end of later Vedic period, there are some evidences that they introduced the coins. Coins like Nishaka, Satamana, all that. But the barter system also continued. So this is about the economy of the later Vedic period, children. So this much we have to learn under the Vedic period. I am going to give you a set of questions that has to be answered by you, children. So you have to study that. We have given you the printed copies of this, Xerox copies of this. Go through those copies and whatever I have underlined, whatever I showed in this video, compare that, try to underline that and study properly and answer the questions what I am giving. So when we come back, meet at the school, we have to know that how much you have studied. And you have to be very prompt and also sincere in your studies, children. It is not just by looking at these videos, and you have to listen carefully, you have to understand, and you have to find all your doubts, and you can inquire with us when we come back. So here is the questions and you can write the answers for these questions. These are your assignment questions, children. It's easy. Go through that, study well, answer these questions. When we meet at the school, you can clarify your doubts. Okay? Have a nice day.